If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the ThrashManiac99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review for you guys, and today I am talking about another debut, a first album from a new band, and that is, of course, the debut offering from Atonement with SADISTIC INVADERS. So this came out on July 28th on Dying Victims Productions, which that was pretty much the principal reason why I wanted to check this out, because I've been enjoying a lot of Dying Victims Productions releases over the past couple of years. After all, Vicious Nights, among many others. And I saw, of course, Blackened Thrash. This is a Blackened thrash band from Sweden, Stockholm to be exact. And, well, both of those things, Blackened Thrash and Dying Victims, was the principal reason why I wanted to check out this album. And, well, I was in for some fun. Spoiler alert, this was actually a pretty fun album. So this album's fairly short. It's about 36 minutes plus. And it's only 10 tracks, and most of them clock in around a little over 3 minutes. Some less than 3 minutes. A couple get a little bit longer. We'll get to those when we get to those. So starting off with Hellish Delight basically sets the tone and the bar for the rest of this album, and that is sleazy Blackened feels with thrash metal riffage. And pretty much that's like the principal, what's the phrase I'm looking for? That's like the principal gear that they mainly go for, is just sleaziness and thrash metal just combined together. And when I say sleaziness, I mean like that early first wave black metal kind of sleaze, like Bathory and Venom, that kind of sleaziness. I get that all throughout this album, but mixed in with like sinister thrash, kind of like, I would say largely this is inspired by mostly the German thrash scene, because pretty much almost every single song on this album I get little hints of bands like Creator, Sodom, maybe a little bit of Destruction, but I also do get some vibes from other like old school Blackened thrash or death thrash, even like Merciless, Morbid, Necrodeath, maybe even a little bit of early Sepultura, like Morbid Visions in particular. But yeah, Hellish Delight pretty much gets you going right away with some hellish riffs that's just unrelenting. Await the Command, this is where I really got to hear some of that old school Bathory influence when the real sleaze started to come in. And then, pretty much like I said, throughout this whole album, it's just all about emphasizing Blackened sleaze and thrash metal. But there are different moments within all these songs that make them unique. Like Await the Command, the second track, that has a section where they get a little bit more mid-tempo, kind of like a Motorhead mid-tempo section, and there's even a little bit of a Motorhead vibe even on the song Acts of Death. Like, towards the end, you get this, like, D-beat stomp that kind of makes you think Motorhead, and even the guitar solo has a little bit of, like, that fast Eddie Clarke, Phil Campbell kind of vibe to it. Fatal Militia, that song really kind of brings in a little bit more of those, like, galloping D-beats, kind of like new wave of British heavy metal style galloping D-beat stomps. And then you get two tracks that go beyond the 3-minute mark. Lust for Sin, that's about 4.5 minutes. And that song very much felt like a classic German thrash song, almost like a hybrid of Pleasure to Kill and Obsessed by Cruelty. Kind of like a hybrid of those two albums wrapped in one track. Unholy Sorcery, now this one gets a little interesting because it kind of begins with some Slayer riffage, but with like a mid-tempo rhythm. And then it kind of turns into almost like a punky Darkthrone song, like the riffs that show up on Unholy Sorcery, which is also about a little over, or a little less than 5.5 minutes. This track definitely felt like it could have been on, say, like Ravishing Grimness or like a late 2000s album for Darkthrone. It really fits in line with those albums perfectly. And then the final 3 tracks, Death Merchant, Evil Minds, and Sadistic Invader, super quick, super fast, and furious, and just kind of bring the album to a close in a wonderful way. And even Sadistic Invader, it starts off with a more slower build that feels a little more sinister, a little more evil, before it just gets into more of that, like, sleazy tremolo of kind of like early Bathory. So, overall, when it came down to the songs, like, the riffs deliver. Yeah, they feel familiar. Like, I've heard these before in bands like I said, Creator, Sodom, maybe a little bit of Sepultura, Bathory, Merciless, Necrodeath. Like, it made me remember those bands, but done in modern times. But, of course, bringing in some new wrinkles, like maybe on a song they'll incorporate a little more D-beats, maybe incorporate a little more mid-tempo, or start a song off slower, or get it a little bit more punky. Now, the guitar solos on this album, mostly shred, ripping, and, like, dive bombs, kind of like to add on to the chaos, which there's a little hint of chaos going on with this album as well. Now, the vocals definitely feel in line with black metal, for sure. Now, the main issue I had with this album, the production wasn't the best. Particularly boils down to the drums. Like, the drum mix was not that good. The guitar tone I liked because it kind of had a little bit of that, like, first wave black metal charm to it, which I did enjoy. Same with the bass. But the drum mix, not the best. So, those criticisms aside, overall, like I said, I had a fun time listening to this album. I'm actually going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I thought this was some pretty good beginnings for Atonement, and hopefully another album down the pike pretty soon, because I think this band has the potential to kind of break out as being one of the new big Blackened thrash bands of modern times. So, like I said, if you are a fan of early Bathory, early Creator, early Sodom, early Sepultura, maybe even Merciless, you're going to dig this, because there's so much going on here. But of course, this is all just my opinion. What did you guys think of Sadistic Invaders by Atonement? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.